Welcome to the Scrum for April 8th, 2020. What's up, fellas?
What up?
How we doing? Y'all doing good?
Doing pretty well, man. What y'all been up to today?
Fucking working bullshit.
Working.
Feel it, man. I
I
feel it.
watched I watched a live stream of a marble race because that's fun.
How was that?
I mean, it's sports, kinda.
Did your marble
Kinda.
win?
Nah, I was just like I didn't bet on nothing. I was just like
Oh.
looking. I was just chilling. Yeah,
Yeah, but you picked a marble. You were
Yeah.
listed a marble.
that's facts. Nah, there was one called Snowball. It was an all white one. It didn't win, but
Oh, naturally. Dude, I went to PR my mile today. Missed it by 4 seconds. Very upset. I'm in a bad mood. And we're gonna get our asses kicked tonight. It's all just downhill, man.
It's really downhill, buddy.
rough.
Speaking of downhill, Bernie dropped out of the presidential race. Fucking internet lost their shit over it. Every single Democrat turned on each other.
I'm sure
rough.
Twitter was just a fucking wasteland.
War zone, bro. Just a
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
war zone, Call of Duty style.
Yeah.
And I think we can safely speak on it, saying that this is coming from three non-Trump supporters, to say the least.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly a full Bernie supporter. I'm definitely not a Biden supporter. I'm not really going to dwell into my politics or your guys' politics, but it was still big happening for the upcoming presidential race. Fucking everyone went batshit.
Oh yeah. I mean, as is to be expected too. You know what I mean? But yeah, I knew that Bernie dropped out, but I hadn't been on Twitter until probably an hour ago, and I was just like, oh shit, like everyone's at each other's necks.
Bernie.
Yeah.
Well, it's just everyone it's just everyone tore themselves apart out of nowhere.
And a lot of the Bernie supporters don't like Biden, so it's
A
just
lot of people don't like Biden,
right?
but
yeah.
It's
a huge
it is
problem.
what it is.
It's worth mentioning nonetheless.
Twitter's going to Twitter.
Twitter's going to Twitter. So Gary Bettman spoke about the possibility of the NHL returning for this season, resuming the season in any capacity. He's not hopeful.
Yeah.
Not hopeful at all. Basically, it may not be possible, to quote him.
It's hard to be, yeah.
And, I think at this point, we've mentioned a bunch of times, it's kind of just seems like the best move for the sport. Seems like the most logistical thing to take place. But what I did want to touch on and kind of run through real fast, had the playoffs started, which they would have started today or they would have started a day or two ago, what the matchups would all look like. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So going down, looking at the East, it would have been Boston versus the Islanders, Tampa versus Toronto. And shouts out Toronto. They signed Alexander Barbanov for a 1 year, two-way contract there. Dude, 20 teams had their eyes on this kid.
Yeah, I saw that. I really hadn't even I've heard the name, just that last name, Barbanov or Barabanov, however you say it. Where's he from? Do y'all know?
Russia, I think.
Russia?
Russian, yeah.
That's what I figured. But
Russian ass.
yeah, I didn't know that he's 25. Why is he lighting it up like that?
He is. Yeah, I think he's having a dope season. I think he's having a really dope, or had a dope season in the KHL. Enough to where a lot of teams were looking for him. Probably because of his age, to be honest. I know that seems kind of old, but at the same time, that's going to be
that's prime. It's prime.
Mature player. Yeah, he's going to be physically mature. NHL ready to that degree. 200 pounds almost, 5'10".
That's what they said about Gusev.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
that was a whole sweepstakes too. That was a whole sweepstakes.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't shit happened from that. Good point.
I was gonna say, didn't turn out to be much.
But Washington would have been playing Carolina.
That would have been so sick. Dude,
you
want to talk about
last year?
All the eyes would have been on that, and it would have been a nasty series too.
Oh yeah.
Hot take
on both sides.
Hot take. I don't think we win it this time. We're not built like we were the last series.
I think depending on when it's played. I mean, if our whole roster is healthy, then.
Well, that's just it, Cody. We're talking about had it started today. That's the implication.
Well, right, but we're talking. I mean, but more realistically, it's happening in a few months from now when
that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, but I'm even talking about, let's say the season had played out, even with Dougie. I'm gonna go that far. Even with Dougie, I don't know if we beat the Capitals. I think they come out of the gate throwing bodies, and the way I saw us often respond to that kind of physical presence this year just wasn't the same as it was last year, to me personally.
I agree.
And I don't know that we'd be able to outplay him, to be honest.
There's obviously some factors where I think the Caps straight up have the Canes taken over, but goaltending's not their strong suit this year for the Capitals. So I think that's where it would come down to the battle, I think. But, we may not find out. Not this year. And then it would also have been the battle for Pennsylvania. Philly and Pittsburgh would have been meeting up in the first round.
That would have been fire.
Dope. Yeah, that would have been a sick series. You talk about all eyes on Washington and Carolina. Philly was coming out hot. They would have had a lot to prove against a really strong playoff team in Pittsburgh. Looking at the West, St. Louis would have played Calgary. Colorado would have had Dallas. The Knights in Nashville would have been playing. And Edmonton versus Vancouver. Vancouver would have made the playoffs, and they would have been playing Edmonton. Speaking of Edmonton, Colby Cave over there, center, fucking with the Bakersfield Condors. Brain bleed.
Now, was this that same guy who got knocked out months back?
That's what I thought. That's why I thought I might have recognized his name.
Are you talking about Brendan Manning, who was racist and then he got knocked out for being racist?
No. This was we talked about it because I think his last name was Cave. That dude who got knocked out in the AHL or whatever by
it was the other way around. He knocked the dude out. He knocked the dude out. Yeah,
you almost scared me.
It was in October of last year.
Yeah, because the pun was Colby Cave, you're facing. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Still not good. It's not good. Not like good. He got knocked out. It's still kind of scary. But
you're totally right. Yeah. So fucking brain bleed. Was in a coma. Still in the coma. I think he had emergency surgery, which I guess was successful to whatever degree, but he's still in a coma. At least that's the last I read of it. So best wishes, quickest recovery. Hopefully he gets back to caving people's faces in.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I would kill to see the Calgary and Edmonton go at it in a fucking 7-game series.
For real.
That would be ridiculous.
Dude, did you guys see the Blues did their NHL tweeted out today? The St. Louis Blues defending Cup champs are on like a whole team Zoom call with whoever, and it was just like they just had like Falk was up up on the Zoom chat in the corner. I'm like, the only dude in here that won't be able to be like, yeah, man, there's crazy times in the playoff series winning the Cup. I just thought it was funny. I was looking to see if like they had still brought Edmondson back in on the call or something, but they didn't. No. They didn't.
They probably should have, huh?
How would you
just switch him out for Falk?
Yeah, but no, he's a Carolina boy for the rest of whatever this season is. Dude, that's something before we kind of get past NHL stuff. How we need to look at how many people got screwed at the trade deadline if the season doesn't start again by giving up assets to get a rental player.
We talked about that on the pod. We talked about that.
But we looked at guys who
looked more like the conditions of the trade,
the conditions
not
of
just
the trade.
Right.
But even with none of those conditions getting met, there's still teams that gave up like their first and second round picks or whatever for
I mean, in a perfect world, I think we'd apply the same theory we did when we talked about it for the conditions. Is like, maybe you make some sort of arbitration, mediation, middle ground. Like, you can't get that guy back, but there's an extension on how long you have to sign that player. You got to find some middle ground there. Otherwise, it's going to be a fucking mess. But you're right. That's a huge issue.
Yeah,
for sure.
Crazy.
In the other world of sports, the fucking combat sports seem to be the only one that won't die. Wrestling and UFC.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
For real.
But Dana White, he's going to buy an island. He's going to rent an island.
That's what he's saying.
I love Dana White.
The way he said it, he already has an island. They've got the island. They're building whatever it is.
Like the infrastructure.
They're building the infrastructure. And the idea is no one knows where it is. The fighters don't know where it is. What's going to happen is you are going to be told where to go get into a UFC plane, and that plane is going to take you to the island. You're not going to know where it is. That's not where the Ferguson Gaethje fight now is. That's not going to happen there at the island. That's somewhere else, also undisclosed, because he doesn't want people to hit him up.
I thought I heard something about like the US versus US fights are going to be held in like Dana White's basement. He's got he has somewhere to have fights for for American-born players, but people who the international fights. That's
on the island. Yeah, that's going to the island. The only reason I could see that being a thing is because he has that. they had the Ultimate Fighter before, and now he has like Dana White's like Contender Series, which is the same idea. So they've got a studio somewhere with just the cage, a regulation cage, and all that stuff. So if that's what they're going to use, I don't know if that's in his basement or not, but.
Dude, I do like. I don't know, Josh. You put in the notes where the Fighter Festival, and honestly, you spelled it like fire. Was that you, or is that something you saw online?
I saw that all over the internet.
Okay.
People were saying
That's
it, but
good.
definitely, yeah, the Fighter Festival.
See,
I mean, it's going to be the same kind of shit. People are going to show up. I think they can do whatever they want. They're going to have a bitch of a time trying to stream that shit out.
That's what my thing is the internet infrastructure that you're going to have to get set up.
Medical.
Yeah, medical too. But even there, it's like, you know, barring something catastrophic, I think you can get most of that stuff there, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we don't know
where
that might be a cold take exposed in a fucking in a couple weeks when some guy dies on fucking UFC Fight Island.
So
it's gonna be like that Cold Stone movie. The Cold Stone Steve Austin, what's that shit called, dude? All the prisoners fight on the island.
I have no idea.
What?
That's what we need. Put 10 UFC fighters on the island. One person survives. Winner leaves with $10 million, dude. Stream
and
the whole
9
thing.
murder charges.
Dude, international waters, dude. It's an island.
Hunger Games style. Hunger Games style.
Dude, I was thinking though, like if they're gonna do this on an island, like they need to make it a spectacle. Like bring in some like celebrities to fight. Like bring in Joe Exotic. Have him go fight somebody.
Take him out of prison. Put him in the cage with Carol Baskins.
Some kind of confinement.
Tie one of Jeff Lowe's arms behind his back and have him go after Joe Exotic.
Dude,
put Joe in there with a tiger.
2 tigers. Yeah, I was gonna say 2 humans and 1 tiger. One undrugged tiger.
So Khabib's not fighting. Khabib's
and not.
They already have a replacement guy, right?
Yeah, they brought in Justin Gaethje, which is it's a really good fight. It's just like we've been waiting for this Ferguson Khabib fight for fucking. This is the 5th time it's been canceled.
He's not fighting because I guess like the Russian government's not letting him leave. Is that the issue? Or?
I think like that's probably what the official issue is. I bet if they tried, they could get him out. You know what I'm saying? The way because I watched Dana talk about it, the way he was kind of speaking about it, saying like it's no one's fault. It's no one's fault. Like things happen. In the past, if it had been like Khabib went to Russia knowing he wasn't going to be able to leave, Dana would have thrown him under the bus, essentially.
Right.
So the way he's kind of going about it makes it seem like the UFC kind of messed up in some capacity, and it is what it is now. So
I bet you what it really is. I bet you what it really is Putin's holding him hostage, and he's like, "You got to pay me X," and Dana's like, well, "It's just not worth that. It's simply just not worth that," and that's where we are. That's truly what I believe is going on. But, you know,
that's half your total GDP. You want that?
Yeah,
that cash,
exactly.
Dude?
Yeah, exactly. So I read this, and this was kind of wild. I read that the NBA. So some players in the NBA are struggling with cash. Apparently a few of them are paycheck to paycheck with crazy spending habits. Speaks to a whole nother list of issues that we're not going to get into. But it's definitely a problem nonetheless.
Yeah.
Hopefully
interesting. I was going to say it'd be interesting to know if it's an NBA problem because I mean that's the only MLB is going to start to feel those because those game checks are just now starting to hit. But
here's what it overarching definitely is. You have people that make a lot of fucking money. Regardless of the sport, they make a lot of money, and some of them aren't spending it or investing it wisely, and so they have huge mortgages, they have huge car notes, they have huge bills for all these different things that they went and thought that they were going to be able to just keep pushing down the road with big sums and late payments or whatever the case. And when that money just stops and you have huge expenses, you're fucked. You're fucked. And I know the NBA and I know the NFL has been better about this in past years. They have financial advisors and guys like that who get involved and help these guys invest better. Hopefully they're like in fucking crisis mode with some of these guys because they work so hard for that opportunity to make that much money. You don't want to see that shit just go to the wind because they made a couple bad decisions and because of this pandemic, just like fucking any one of us who we do, we all try to live our lives and we expect our income just to cease. It's wild.
We have literally no control. No one has any control over this.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly.
So
it's very unfortunate. But also, too, Cody, you had brought up before we started recording, speaking of the NBA.
Yeah, there were So there was just with no sports in general, and you know, degens like me that like to gamble on sports every now and then. There are you know, people are like live streaming like Madden Sims. I even saw some NHL Sims today. But in addition, so I guess the NBA is holding, a few of their players are holding a 2K tournament, and it was Kevin Durant and Derrick Jones Jr. And people were throwing money. I guess Durant was supposed to be the favorite, but everyone was throwing their money on the other dude, and it turned out that it was people were live betting on that game, but it was a pre-recorded game, so there was a handful of people who knew the outcome of that game as other people were betting. So like that was obviously a huge, you know, scandal. Yeah. But it's, I mean, it's just sad that like people are having to bet on like that.
I don't think it's sad. I think it's sad that people are fucking taking advantage of the pre-recorded aspect and fucking them over. Because I mean, people are gonna bet. People gotta bet. Gotta bet on something. You know?
Gotta make money, dude.
Dude, the worst.
Make money.
The worst. I was watching one of the Madden Sims earlier today, just to have something on in the background to work, and like but like just like I couldn't imagine having money on that and then seeing like there were just so many glitches during the game itself, or just random shit where like the one of the plays that I had on, it was like right before halftime or something, and it was right before the end of the game, and they were down by like 6 points or something, and they just let the time expire. Like the computer, like clock management on the game is like god awful. And I'm like looking on the Twitch stream, and people are just like, I bet $500 on this game, you're not gonna fucking snap the ball. Like just so like
that is hilarious.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. Dude.
That's funny. Yeah, dude.
So good.
Man. That's
cannot
so good.
imagine.
Speaking of NBA Young Boy,
right? Which by the way is apparently a rapper. I thought Cody, that he was. I thought that when I saw NBA Young Boy, I thought he was just a young basketball player. I fucking had no idea.
That's just the young fella new to the league. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Young Boy. They call him Young Boy.
I was like, Josh, why don't you put this man's name on here? He goes, that's his name.
Oh, you thought Josh was like, some young kid from the NBA's out here wilding.
A little whip,
half-ass notes. Wilding. Yeah, so NBA Young Boy, who's, you know, right now, and I don't think this is much of a coincidence. I think he's got new music and he's got videos and stuff coming out. So the timing is a little sus. But he's dating Floyd Mayweather's daughter. And I guess something happened where they ran into his baby mama ex-girlfriend.
No.
Okay.
Shut up.
NBA Young Boy dates the daughter.
Right.
Daughter walked in on NBA Young Boy and a side chick. Daughter tries to fight side chick. Side chick starts whooping daughter's ass. Daughter stabs side chick.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you for the
clarification. Yo, that is wild.
So she got arrested for that.
Yep.
Yeah, she got arrested for that. And what ended up happening, and I don't know exactly what was said or how the exchange took place, but NBA Young Boy started getting a little fucking loud with Mayweather.
Yeah.
Which
are you
is
doing,
just
dude?
Silly.
What are you doing? You're already making a mistake cheating on his daughter. 1, you're already fucking up there. 2, you're gonna talk shit to this man like you're untouchable, young man. Forget the pause he could forget the pause he could put on you. That dude will put a hit out on you. He will put a hit on anybody.
And he has I think he has more than one son too. You know what I'm saying? He could just send fam after you. You can just
For real, dude. Yeah, I just thought that was crazy. Nuts. Absolutely nuts, man. The fucking world we live in, dude. You know what I mean? Like that's the world we live in where celebrities are getting in these kind of tiffs. Yeah, I don't know. It's nuts. Fucking nuts. Speaking of nuts, speaking of competition, video games, it all comes to a head here. Cancellation Cup. Yeah, we're fucking ass. Yeah, we suck. Cancellation Cup. We're going 0-7 tonight. We got 2 games. I love how every time we're like, all right, we're 0 whatever. We're gonna win a couple. We'll come back strong. Now we'll just keep losing.
This isn't all just the seeding, right?
Yeah. And
every time I say games.
Yeah, these are still seeding games. So every time I think we're done, we're not. So I don't know.
All you got to do.
We're the last seed. Like we're the last seed. There's no way we're not.
Can we just concede to the last seed and just go into the tournament?
Nah, dude, it's all for the story. Y'all gonna come out, beat the number 1 seed.
You're right. We had a pretty sick documentary coming.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, we do. Check that, peep that.
Yeah, I've got an old VHS recorder, just like recording the television for every game we play. It's real high quality. Give it that old feel, you know?
No, actually, I got a VCR hooked up with a tape in that bitch. Really doing it, like actually recording on tape. That's what we're doing.
And we're gonna make copies.
Don't ask how I have a TV that can hook up a VCR and an Xbox One. Don't worry about that. We got that. I don't think they make those anymore.
You can find those. We're gonna have 15 copies released on our website. You can find those VHS tapes.
They will be numbered and autographed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know, man. That's all though.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna put them on the orange tapes. Put them on those orange. We're gonna put them on those orange tapes.
Oh, dude, the VCR. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of Nickelodeon movies.
Yeah.
Some real nostalgia.
We're throwing it all the way back, dude.
I think that's it, though, boys.
We knock it out, man.
Knocked it out. That's the scrum.
Well, I guess to get the rest of it, hit us up at Talkin Sauce Pod. No underscore. Respect the underscore. Check out the Cancellation Cup. At Cancellation Cup, I think.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And get me at Jacob, JAY_COBBB. Josh, where they get you
at Teebs, TEABZZ.
Cody, where they get you at?
At CD_2187.
Boom.